Yo, what up? How's it going? And welcome back for another video. Today's video, I'm just going to talk a little bit off the cuff here, and I wanted to give kind of a channel update on what's going to be going on, what we have planned for the future on this channel, and what I have planned, and maybe short term, maybe long term, that type of stuff. And also wanted to tell you a little bit about myself, just who I am, since I have a lot of whole new subscribers here, and I don't want to withhold any information. I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea about who I am or what my intentions are with the stuff that I do, with the videos that I make and stuff like that. And I just want to be completely transparent, stuff like that. And the last thing is, before we talk about any of that stuff, is I just want to thank you guys so much for all of the new subscribers, all the people watching the videos, and it's been such a struggle to get here. Like, it's been such a struggle to get here. And to finally see some of the work that I've been putting in for the last couple of years, all the way, 4 years back, I decided I wanted to live a life that was like this and make it work, find a way to get out of, just the monotony that my life was in. And to finally see some results of all that work happening right now is just, it's overwhelming. And I can't do it without people who want to come watch my videos. Obviously, you come and watch the videos because you see the stuff that I'm putting out there and it's good. You want to learn how to play this, and it's good. Because I spent all this time getting all this information, getting my knowledge up, learning how to educate people, learning how to structure things in a way that people will be able to digest and actually absorb it. And I spent all that time working, and I made different type of content on a bunch of different channels towards different stuff with different types of goals. And it's been like a 4-year journey just to get here to find something that works, and I see it working, and I have the proof of concept, and I'm putting the work in, and man, I know it's gonna be good, and it's just working out. I just want to thank you guys, thank all of you for helping me make this happen. And obviously you watch the content, especially all of the new people are watching the content to learn how to play champions on League and stuff like that. And I mean, that's my main goal of the content, is to educate you guys, teach you guys how to set you up for success whenever you jump into a game on League. Obviously, you're watching because the content is good and that's what you want. But for me, what it is I look at my YouTube analytics, I'll pull it up, and I just get so hyped. I get so hyped whenever I see I had 2,000 views in the past 2 days. And I can tell that that's going to continue because the type of content I'll make will be good all year. And when I see that, and I've only made 4 real videos that people are going to keep clicking on. And when I see that, and I'm like, man, in a month I'll have 20 videos. I'll have 20 of those. So just imagine what that'll be. And I get so hyped. Like, a lot of people around me have made a lot of sacrifice. Me and my girlfriend live alone, and money is, a hard thing. She's in school, and I'm working on this, and it's finally just see results. It's amazing. It's just truly amazing. I can't do it without any of you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, with that out of the way, I just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself, because I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea about me, or and also, if you're gonna stick around and watch a lot of these guides and stuff like that, sometimes it's nicer just to know who the person is behind the camera who's talking to you, like that. I think that's important. So let's talk about that. Let's talk just about who I am. So my name is Duncan. Obviously you see the thing Duncan Mass. Mass is my last name. I just use random words after my IGNs. Usually I just use Duncan Joestar, Duncan Mass, Duncan whatever. That's what I do. So, but Duncan's my first name. And I'm actually 23 years old. I have to think about that all the time. I'm 23 years old, so I'm not some super young gun, but I'm also not old either. So a lot of people think I'm older than I am, but I'm 23. As far as League goes, I've been around the League scene and playing League for 6 years now. So like everybody else, I started playing League just with my friends. I just had a friend who'd already played it before in like season 1, and he hadn't played, and then he wanted to play again. We were in season 3. And I just played it kind of casually while I was working, going to school, that type of stuff. And then really 3 years ago, I started to take the game really seriously, and I was like, man, let's see how actually good I can get at the game. And so like I played it, and I played a lot, and I was like grinding, but I wasn't very good. Like I didn't know anything about the game. that. Like I didn't watch Pro Scene. I didn't like actually pay attention. I just like looked up random guides and stuff like that. I was really early on into the league scene. I only played casually before, and then I played like really serious for 1 year competitively, and I got plat 1, and I was like so happy with that. But the thing about that is when I was playing, and then that's when I started to watch the pro scene too, and started to understand more about the game. I started to understand that I really hated playing the game, but I loved the game so much. I really didn't enjoy playing it at all. It's ever just with my friends and we have fun and stuff like that. But I really loved it. I really loved the game. And at the time, what I was doing for a living is, and what I wanted to do with my life up to that point is, it sounds kind of weird if you don't know a lot about this stuff, but I was a lifeguard instructor, and then I was a manager over a really large water park. I had 200 employees that worked underneath me, and I was really passionate about that. There's a job called, I'm gonna talk about this very briefly, but the larger lifeguard company, they're called Ellis, and they have these 20 people that work for them that are called auditors. It's not like a tax auditor. What you do is, you get a company vehicle, they fly you out, you get trained, and you basically travel around the country. So you travel all over the country, and you perform audits on people's water parks and their lifeguards, and then you train them to help them fix some of the issues they have and stuff like that. It's not like a tax audit. Like you're making sure they're working the stuff correctly, and in order to do that, you have to be one of the best instructors in the country. And I knew I was fucking good at it. I was fucking good at it. I love teaching. Like I love teaching, but I don't like school, so that it wasn't an avenue for me. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna teach lifeguards. Really passionate about it. I think it's an important thing. You teach people CPR, that type of stuff. And I was really, really into it. And it turns out the actual job that I was doing was awesome. It was exactly what I thought I was doing. I'd go out and teach people, really help them learn. It's really rewarding to me to see someone else succeed whenever I can give them the information, give them all the stuff to set them up, and then they do it. Really gives me a lot of joy. And it's why I love that job. But it just didn't work for my lifestyle. It didn't make me enough money for, not that I'm like out for money or anything like that. It didn't make me enough money for what it did to my life. Being away from my family and my girlfriend and all my friends and traveling constantly. You were traveling constantly. You come home for a couple days out of a month, and I found myself getting really depressed. I would stop working out because I'm so tired from traveling and just eating bad, and I was like the most down I've ever been in my life was when I got to the end of my contract with that job and it was time to re-sign up, and I declined. It was the lowest point in my life, was right then. Probably. I've had a lot of low points in the past 3 years since I made that change, because my life was looking like, man, I'm going to do this. It's going to be great. I got this plan. It's going to be awesome. I'm so into this. And even when I started, I was like, man, this is awesome. This is exactly what I thought it would be. It's great. But when I made that career change, it was the lowest point in my life. And at that same time, I was so into esports. I was so in the league, and I started really studying the game and stuff like that. And at that point was when I decided I left that job and I had some money to burn off of, and I was like, okay, I'm going to learn everything I can about league, about the professional scene, how champions work, all that good stuff. I'm going to spend really time learning about drafting, all this good stuff, and I did all that stuff that year. And then I was like, and then I'm going to try to find a job, working for a team. I have all this education experience, training people. I'm a natural leader. I'm so good. I'm so good at running teams and stuff like that, like teams of people out of those 200 lifeguards, and I had a smaller teams of supervisors, lifeguards, stuff like that. And then when I traveled around the country, I'd have to be a team leader for different people every day, and I love it. I love being that person who's doing that, and I excel at it. It's like one of my best qualities is doing that. So I was like, man, let me get all this knowledge up. Let me get myself set up. I'm going to apply for these analyst positions. I'm going to apply for these assistant coach positions, and I'm going to, because I was so deep into the stuff that I could see all this stuff. I could see the people who were doing this stuff, and I could see how they were talking. I was like, man, this guy really doesn't know how to lead a team like that. There's a lot of people who are very great, and so at first that was my original plan. I was like, man, I'm going to apply for these professional teams, maybe these collegiate teams, stuff like that. Maybe I can be an assistant coach and work my way up, and then or maybe I can just be an entry level analyst who can work with the team and stuff like that. And I think I can really help somebody, and I have all this stuff that I've been practicing, setting up, and I can make my clean career change. Well, it just didn't happen like that. I couldn't even get anybody to talk to me. I probably have applied to so many places, and I could barely ever get anybody to talk to me. I was like, you can ask me anything. You can. I was like, we can go through, and I can tell you everything I know about all this stuff. But I know it sounds kind of like immature for if you don't know anything about, getting hired for stuff like that and stuff like that. But I really had the stuff, and I couldn't even get anybody to talk to me. I got the general manager of FlyQuest to actually talk to me before, but I was like looking at college teams, stuff like that, all that good stuff. The issue when you work with colleges though is you have to have a 4-year degree, and I don't. And most people who work in the league scene don't either, or around teams and stuff like that. I couldn't work with colleges because I don't have a degree. I have no like type of gaming type scene where I live, so I can't work at like PC cafes and stuff like that, and people who do that type of stuff. There's a lot of like training camp type places, like in Chicago. There's like a league place where you can get hired as a coach, stuff like that. I'm not gonna make a move to work at like some rinky-dink place. I'm not gonna move to Chicago to do that. I lived in Chicago for 2 months that summer that I worked as an auditor, so not doing that. So it was either I work for these collegiate teams, lower level teams, or I look at the pro teams. And I couldn't even get anybody to talk to me. Highly professional resume. I could sit there and tell them everything about the game on a professional level. I have this library of videos where I explain professional play and stuff like that, which, by the way, is the way a lot of people get into the scene, is they just do their own analytical work. That's how Frost Curran did. That's how Dylan Falco did. That's how he actually got hired at TSM, I believe, initially. That's how Parth got hired, is actually putting out the analytical data and look, this is what I have. Look at it, see it, and then you make that stuff, and then you apply and you talk to people, and that's how you get in initially, unless you're just a professional player. So I was going about it all the right way, but I couldn't even get anybody to talk to me. I was doing it for like 2 years, and so I ended up working for this startup esports company. That my position with them is they needed a couple things. I was mainly interested in teaching people how to play League, and setting up teams and stuff like that, and helping people with that is what I was most interested in. And so part of my job was to be the league expert, and we'd meet with colleges, and we meet with every state has a resource center where they hire out like third parties to come to schools and teach them about things. Like, for example, like a football program would call this resource program that's sponsored by the state, and if they need like somebody to come help with their offense, they need an offensive coordinator to just come out and do like a clinic with their team. They'd go through them, and then they would find the people appropriate and help them out. And so I was working for a company that was going to be the exclusive partner for my state with colleges and high schools that are setting up esports program. And I'm the lead guy who has to make all the content to educate people who are going to be coaching teams and stuff like that. So I got hired to do that, but it was a startup company, so you don't make any money really. So I was working on that, and I was meeting with colleges and stuff like that, and setting up league stuff, making league seminars, that type of stuff. I was in charge of doing that. And then the other part of it is a different part of the company was like setting up tournaments and stuff like that. I did logistics and floor plans, so more of the technical work. But that was like I had to do that so I could do the stuff I really wanted to do. So I spent a long time doing that, and the company ended up dissolving, not because it wasn't working. Part of the company wasn't working. The part of the company that I didn't even want to work on was the part that was sucking in money and wasn't working. But what happened is it started to go kind of down, and I didn't want to do the stuff that was going down, and it was taking up so much of my time, and I needed to make money, so I started teaching lifeguards again at the same time. And then the company dissolved because the two partners that owned the company had differing opinions, and they split. And I got kind of grouped with the half that stayed out of the company. And then now that part of the company still works with colleges and stuff, but without a league expert who helps some of that. So I was working on that for a while, and it just didn't kind of work out. And then I started to produce my content type again and try to get my new plan was it was kind of like the same plan. Put my stuff out there, get it set up, just keep grinding, and keep making educational content around professional league. So maybe I can get in and with a team, or I can get in with a broadcaster, something like that, and do that. Well, no one would talk to me for the whole past year. No one would talk to me. I tried really hard. At one time, I actually got some really big exposure because I just decided to do every single one of TSM's games. I would do a VOD review. I do a VOD review for tons of different games. I do a bunch of Korean games, a bunch of, and I'd break down why this game happened, why this play happened right here, why the champions were picked. Did them for a bunch of that, but I ended up doing a lot of TSM games, and I got featured on the TSM subreddit, where my things would get reposted there every week, and I was getting thousands of views. I had a video that had like 10,000 views or something like that, and that was so huge for me. But at that time that happened was the same time I was still working for that company, and that company had dissolved, and it was taking up so much of my time. And then at the same time, I was just broke, so I had to go teach lifeguards. And so when I started to teach lifeguards, and I tried to do that at the same time, I'm just not someone who can do two things at the same time. I'm either all in or I'm all out. And so it just kind of dissolved away because I just wasn't able to maintain sanity in my life by doing both. But I had to just teach lifeguards for a couple months so I can gain up some cash again. So I did that for all of this past summer, all this last summer and spring. I was training lifeguards again, and I'd already kind of been out of that business, but I got back in to train some more lifeguards. And then when that ended, a couple months ago, I started producing my content again around professional play, doing a bunch of stuff with that. And then, I just finally came to realization I'd made 2 guides before around amateur play, around, new players to the game. People want to know how to play certain stuff. And they did so well. They got so many views. But I always thought to myself, like, I'm not interested in that. I don't want to make that. I'm not really interested in, making like, how to climb and stuff like that. I was like, that's so overdone. Everybody does it. And I'm not really that interested in climbing on League of Legends. And then I just started thinking about it a different way. And I don't know why I didn't think about it this way before, where I just think it's not about, telling people how to climb. And I felt kind of bad about it because I was like, because I'm not a challenger player. I don't pretend to, I know how to climb, but I'm not going to pretend that I am a challenger player and I'm going to teach you how to get to challenger. I'm not going to pretend I'm doing that. I can tell you everything you want to know about jungle routes. I can tell you everything you need to know about respawn timers. I can tell you everything you need to know about how a champion's supposed to interact with another champion, about how a champion's supposed to itemize for what situations. And I can tell you about any matchup, just about any matchup in the game, how it should play out. Even if I haven't played that particular matchup or seen it a whole lot, I can tell you how it should probably play out based on what the champions will do, what the champions are capable of, and then why it's actually picked into that team comp and that type of stuff. I can tell you everything about that, but I didn't feel right about telling people how to climb. So that's why I never made content like that, because I don't really play the game. I play the game whenever major gameplay changes happen, and when major gameplay changes happen, I can see the changes, I can tell what they're going to do to the game, but I need to know what they actually feel like. So I'll grind for a couple days playing some games. I had 1,000 games on my account last year, where I was just kind of like testing some stuff out, and then I would do like random climbs because I just don't want my ELO to be so awful. It's pretty awful right now, but I don't like playing the game. I just love the game. And I love teaching people. And I started looking at it a different way, is what's the best way to just teach people? I love teaching new people. I've always loved teaching new people. So I should make content around teaching new people how to play the game. I know all this stuff about the game and have all this knowledge about champions, the way they interact, what you should be doing with your champion to be successful, why this champion is good, why this champion is good there, why you should be doing this. I know all that stuff, and I wanted to do that with professionals. And I just thought to myself, well, why don't that's what I want to do, so why don't I just do that on a smaller level? But with a smaller level of competition, but a bigger level of audience. Why don't I just do that? That would make so much more sense. And so I started doing that. So I made a plan about a month ago that I'm going to start making some educational content around, new players to the game, or players who are trying to find new champions. Because I know whenever I was new to the game, I was looking up those guides all the time. I was looking up, how do you play this? How do you play this? And then now as a person who's super experienced with the game, I'll look at some like champion tier lists and I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, this isn't how this interacts. Like, some of the stuff out there is just bad. I'm not gonna like even stuff that I'm not talking about anybody specifically or any person, but there'll be like large companies that have like 1 million subscribers that make really highly edited, nice content, but the actual, the actual game knowledge just isn't there. It seems like a lot of the times those like tier lists and those like how to climb stuff when it's made like a big company, and I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want to trash anybody. I don't want to make any enemies. Whenever they make those stuff, it feels like they got, and they'll say like we got input from pro players and content creators. I think I'm giving it away now, but it feels like they get a lot of information from those people who are like, oh yeah, this will be good this patch, and I'll get a bunch of random, communication of that from between pro players and then like content creators that probably don't even know anything about the game, like actually how the game works. They just like that's OP. Don't actually know why that is that way and why this change would mean that. Like they get a lot of those people, and that's fine. And then it gets all jumbled together into a ball, and then they average it out. And then the person who actually presents the information and is the person who actually has decision power on what the way they structure it and like what champions and what tier and how this change is going to affect the game. Um, uh, doesn't actually know anything about League. They're like like a bronze player that actually plays the game and doesn't. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like that's how it feels when I watch those. Like when I see those videos and they're talking about the dragon changes and they're like saying how important it is to get early dragons. I'm like, you're crazy. You're crazy. We're not gonna talk about the dragon changes in this video, but you don't have to get early dragons. The only thing that's strong is the dragon souls, and you need to get 4 dragons to get them. If you get 2 dragons in the early game, but you lose the whole early game because you're prioritizing dragons and you're letting the enemy team grab Rift Herald and kill your bottom lane 1 million times, and you die because you int for the dragons, then you're not gonna get 4 dragons. You're gonna lose the game because you got behind. Anyways, we're not gonna talk about that. We're talking about stuff. So I was like, I can do that. I'd already have a proof of concept where I made some educational content. I was like, I can do that, and I will enjoy that. I can tell you how pumped I get whenever I open my phone in the morning and I sign in on YouTube and I look at my analytics and I find my comments and I see everybody who's commenting like, thanks, man, thanks for this stuff. Man, it makes me feel so good. And then when I see the views that I'm getting and the growth potential of it and everything, I'm finally going to be able to do this. I've spent the past 4 years, man, or it's like 3.5 years, trying to find something that works. I persevered so much. I finally found something that works, and I'm just so grateful. So grateful. And I already said that a bunch, but I feel like I've worked so hard, and it's finally seeing some results. And I've had so many uncomfortable conversations with so many people who are like, "What are you doing with your life?" And I'm like, I want to teach people how to play League, and I just felt I knew something would start working. I know it's so early on. I just got 200 subscribers at this point, but I gained 60 in the past 4 days, and I can see the growth potential. I can see it happening. And I know, like, what I see where making 4 videos. What am I gonna see when I make 20 of those? It's gonna be insane. And just finally, so many people in my life have made sacrifices for me to be able to say that. My mom has helped me out so much. I don't live with my mom or anything. I haven't lived with my mom for like 3 years. She made so much sacrifices. My girlfriend, she's the breadwinner right now because I'm trying to do this for us. I got all this information stuff, and I know there's a winner here where I can make something happen to where she won't have to work anymore and she can focus on school. So like, school is just not something for me. And I just wanted to, I want to tell you guys again, thank you. But I wanted to tell you guys how I got to here and why I know a lot about the game. And I don't want to lie to you. I'm not going to pretend I'm a challenger boy. I'm not. I probably could be, but the process of doing that doesn't make any sense for me to do. Also, I would hate every second of it. I love the game. I'm so into the game. Every change that happens, every patch that happens, I'm so glued to it. watching pro play, I'm watching all this stuff, I'm analyzing stuff, I'm making videos about it, I'm making content, but I just do not like playing the game. So, anyways. Okay, so with that out of the way, I just talked for like 20 minutes, but I thought it was important. Let's talk about what we have next. What's the channel update? What do we have going on? So I'm actually filming this the day before Thanksgiving 2019. So I will not be making a couple videos for the next couple days because I'm just doing Thanksgiving things. I have to go out of town for my girlfriend's parents, and then I have to go out of town to go see my dad on Friday. So we won't be doing any stuff or making any videos for the next couple days. So yeah, so we won't be doing that. But after that, we're going to be jumping back in. I'm going to make a couple more jungle guides. So a couple more jungle guides. I've just started with jungle because that's my favorite position to talk about. It's not necessarily my favorite position to play, but it's my favorite position to talk about because it's fun to talk about jungle pathing. And there was a lot of jungle changes this year, and it's fun to talk about jungle pathing and gank patterns and how you actually play fights. It's just like all the champions that are in that role. So we're going to make a couple more jungle guides. They're probably going to be, the next one's going to be Echo. And I'm not quite sure after that. I already have the Echo stuff recorded and stuff like that. I just don't have it all put together. It's going to be Echo, and then maybe I'll do some... I had somebody request Shaco, but I don't know if I'm going to quite do Shaco right now. Been a bunch of changes to Shaco, and kind of better at support. So I might not do Shaco for a minute, but yeah, but I'm gonna do that. I'll probably do Kane. So I'll do Echo, probably Kane. Probably do those two, and then I'll move over to a couple support champions. For support, I'm probably gonna be doing. I'm gonna do. I don't want to do a Senna one just yet. I don't want to incentivize people to play Senna the wrong way right now. I know how to play Senna, but probably not gonna do Senna for a while. I'm gonna do Alistair. I'm going to do not Braum, Bard. I'm gonna do Alistair and Bard. Those are the first two I have planned. I'll probably do Shaco and Pantheon support. I think those ones are fun. So I'll do Pantheon as well. So those are the ones coming up. I'm going to be doing guides on every single role, but most of them at the beginning are probably going to be on support and jungle because those, honestly, I think require the most to talk about. The other roles are just really talking about combos and counter picks and how to lane and then what your role is in the after laning phase. But in support and jungle, there's a lot more information to talk about, so that's just a little bit more fun for me. That's why we're doing those ones. So we're doing jungle and support. They're pretty similar roles, honestly, and so I like talking about those ones. So those will be next. Other than that, I will honestly, the game I play a lot. I play a lot of TFT. Last year, at this time last year, I was actually, or when first season started, which was in the summer of this year. So in the summer of this year, I was actually ranked 50. I was top 50 for the first month, and I maintained that. But I was Diamond 3 at the time, which was top 50 because it was early in the season. But then the meta was so bad, and I was original auto chess player. Like I was like a rook auto chess player, and I really I just loved auto chess, and TFT just felt like trash. It felt so awful. It felt so terrible. And so I hadn't played it since then, and then since Set 2 came out, I started playing again just about a couple days ago, and I'm already in the top 1,000. I love playing that game, so I'll be playing that game a lot. I don't know if I'll make content around that. If I break into like the top 50 again, I might make some content around it, teaching new players, stuff like that. I think it's a pretty complicated game, so it's weird to talk about because it changes so often and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'm gonna make content, but I may start streaming that. And if anybody's interested in watching me stream that, and not to just watch me play TFT, but you can come in there and ask me any questions about League and ask me any questions about myself and stuff like that. I may start streaming. My Twitch link is in my bio, I believe, and also on the profile banner, and then also in the description of all the videos, I believe. So I'll have, if you want to watch that and you want to ask me questions while I'm playing, it can be about League and stuff like that, because everybody who's coming to my channel is wanting to know about League. Then you can come and see me there whenever I'm streaming. Obviously, I won't be doing that for the next couple of days, but I might just start streaming some of my gameplay. just for fun because I'm playing the game so much already. So if you wanted to come by and see that, you could and ask me questions. If not, that's fine too. Don't worry about it. Also, something else important while I'm kind of selling out right now is you can follow me on Twitter, and that can be an easier way to update people because I just don't have anybody following me on Twitter from here. My Twitter is abysmal. Some people follow me from when I comment about pro play and stuff like that. When I talk about their teams and stuff like that. Some people have followed me for that. But if you guys actually want to follow me on Twitter, then I can tell you what guides I have planned because I could just post, hey, I have an Echo guide coming up on Tuesday. And I could have that stuff coming out for you guys, let you guys know what I plan. That's an easier way to interact with me, where you can, shoot me a message on there like, hey, could you do this, or maybe ask me a question about the game. I'm not saying I'm gonna answer every DM or anything like that, but my DMs are open, and if you want to ask me something about League or something like that, you can definitely just send me a message and I'll get back to you. Maybe not forever, and maybe not everybody, but you totally can. So it's just easier to interact with me on Twitter because I check my Twitter every day and stuff like that. So. Whereas on YouTube, it's kind of weird to interact. You just comment, and I comment back when I get to it. But it's just a little bit easier to get like updates because I have to film an entire video to update it on YouTube. I don't like doing that little message thing on YouTube. So, anyways, so if you want to do that, you can do that. So that's the way I planned. So I'm gonna be doing a couple more jungle guides. It's gonna be Echo and Kane, and I'll probably do Pantheon jungle too. And then on support, I'll do Pantheon support. Brad, Bard, probably Bard and Alistair. And I don't really know what's after that, but I'll probably stick to those two roles for a little bit, and then I'll start doing some guides on other couple of roles. But I know most of the people I have now, obviously, are playing jungle and stuff like that, are more interested in that. But anyways, again, just and then I'm gonna be playing some TFT. So if you want to watch me play that and ask me questions, you can do that. Follow me on Twitter, ask me questions, stuff like that, and that's fine too. And I may make TFT content, which may or may not be interesting to any of you, but I also may not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really in a position with my knowledge of that game to make educational content around that quite yet. So, because I kind of took a huge break off of playing auto chess games. So, anyways, again, thank you guys so much for helping me get here, and I'm so excited for the future, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here and to help me get that. So I'm super excited about that, and thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. See you on the next guide, which will be in a couple days from when I'm filming this. If you're watching this way later, then none of this shit means. So anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!